Have you ever felt emotionally exhausted by someone you barely even dated? Not because the relationship was serious, but because it was emotionally confusing. You talked every day, you became part of each other's routines. You shared personal things. Maybe there were good morning texts, late night conversations, voice notes, plans that felt like they were heading somewhere. And yet, you never really knew where you stood. I honestly think that's one of the biggest psychological challenges in modern dating. People are becoming emotionally attached before the relationship becomes emotionally clear. And that combination can be incredibly exhausting for the nervous system. So in this video, I want to explore why modern dating feels so emotionally draining, why mixed signals affect us more than we realize, and what actually helps psychologically. I was speaking to somebody recently who said, I feel emotionally drained by people I barely even dated. And what struck me was that she wasn't really describing one relationship. She was describing modern dating itself. Because relationships today often become emotionally intimate before they become emotionally defined. You can talk every day, become emotionally vulnerable, share things you never told other people, build routines, build expectations, and still not actually know where the relationship is going. Whether the person is emotionally available, whether they want commitment, or whether they are simply enjoying the connection in the moment. And that's where emotional exhaustion often begins, because the nervous system struggles with prolonged uncertainty. One of the questions I often encourage people to ask themselves is, instead of asking, could this become something? Also ask, what is this relationship consistently showing me right now? Because potential can feel incredibly powerful, but consistency tells us much more about the reality. And this is where mixed signals become so difficult, because most people are not emotionally exhausted by rejection. They are exhausted by uncertainty. One day someone feels close, the next day distant, then suddenly warm again. And over time, the mind starts trying to solve the inconsistency. You begin paying attention to reply times, tone changes, small shifts in energy, things you might never have noticed before. And many people end up criticizing themselves for this. But honestly, the nervous system naturally struggles with unpredictability. We are wired to seek clarity. So if you ever found yourself repeatedly checking your phone, analyzing messages, or wondering whether you've done something wrong, that doesn't necessarily mean you are needy. It often means that you are responding to uncertainty. I also think dating apps have changed relationships psychologically far more than many people realize. Not because they are inherently bad, but because they create constant emotional stimulation, constant access, constant possibility. Someone told me recently, I feel emotionally available to strangers all the time. And honestly, I think many people recognize that feeling. Multiple conversations, multiple possibilities, multiple unfinished connections. And over time, that can become emotionally draining. Because people often end up investing emotional energy into several unclear relationships simultaneously. And the nervous system needs something different. It needs rest, clarity, emotional pacing, not endless emotional hyper-availability. I honestly think many people today are no longer craving intensity. They are craving steadiness, consistency, reliability, clarity. And one of the healthiest things we can begin paying attention to is not just chemistry, but how a relationship consistently, makes us feel. Do you feel calmer over time or more confused? Do you feel secure or increasingly preoccupied? Because emotionally healthy relationships usually create more calmness over time, not constant emotional uncertainty. And I think one of the most valuable skills in modern dating is learning to slow emotional attachment slightly. Not becoming cold, not becoming guarded, not becoming emotionally unavailable, but allowing time, consistency, reliability, and emotional safety to matter as much as chemistry. So if modern dating has started feeling emotionally exhausting for you, it doesn't necessarily mean you are asking for too much. Sometimes it simply means your nervous system has become tired of prolonged ambiguity, mixed signals, emotional inconsistency, and relationships that never fully settle into clarity. Because I honestly think people deserve relationships where they no longer feel they must constantly analyze, monitor, or chase certainty. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And if you are interested in conversations around attachment, modern dating, relationship psychology, and emotional well-being, subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.